and my homestead is under attack from predators, and you have all of the things. I need your help.
This is my friend Kelly from Kodiak Goat Dairy. She is visiting all the way from remote Alaska, where she's doing dairy farming with goats. She's got chickens, pigs, all the things. Kelly, having a really unique understanding of your situation in Alaska. I think the solution we have for you is going to be really, really surprising. Let's go through your options.
Okay, I'm coming.
Obviously, I think anyone is going to go straight to livestock guardian dogs because that is such a thing, right?
That is.
However,
it's not an option for me though. I have too many kids. I do a lot of kid camps. A lot of people are around. I just can't take the risk that a large dog presents.
And I mean, I would actually go further to say you need to do something now. You don't have 2 years to train up a dog. And I think so many people end up getting livestock guardian puppies thinking that, you know, this is bred to do its job. It's just gonna know exactly what to do. I'm gonna take this puppy, put it with my animals, and everything's gonna be fine, right?
I'm gonna be honest, the first video of yours I ever saw was you chasing your dogs.
Oh,
like
yeah.
18 times as you were training them, like running through the woods, chasing your dogs. I'm right in between two roads. Like we are remote, but we are not rural. And so I have roads there, it makes it really tricky.
So obviously dogs are not gonna work for you. Let's go check out the next option.
Okay.
Another hugely popular, like kind of myth in the homesteading community is one that I bought, hook, line, and sinker. When I was living in the middle of the city, I got miniature donkeys knowing that they were prone to chase off small dogs. Like we had lots of problems with bobcats, and honestly, in a dry lot situation in an urban area, these guys did everything I needed them to do and did it very, very well. But in an area like you have, where there's a lot more acreage, there's a lot more, you know, stuff going on, these guys are not the most in tune with whatever's going on far away from the snack pile. So I would say that a standard donkey can do a certain amount, but even then, everything about your situation is so unique. Like you have to either bring in every item that you're feeding your animals by boat or plane. So is having a standard donkey that is only going to like patrol part of your property actually going to be a solution, or is that going to cause you more problems?
Yeah, I'm super disappointed because I really just wanted a donkey to cuddle.
But I mean, who doesn't want this in their life?
Everybody wants a donkey. But the feed prices, the hoof trimming, just the overall maintenance.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Plus it's really wet. Like most of the year, and so you would be dealing with hoof issues up the wazoo. So like that's not going to be a good solution for you.
I am very uncomfortable with this option. Just not like I was never around them till now, and this is the hardest animal I've ever seen.
Oh yeah,
most challenging.
I'll say right now that it's actually a misnomer that alpacas are even good flock guardians, because alpacas are prey animals, not guardians. But because they are prey animals, they tend to be very alert about potential threats, which is great for chasing off things like kitties or like maybe a raccoon or a ground squirrel, because they'll be very, very like curious, but not actually because they're intent on protecting the things around them. Truly, that is a misnomer and a misunderstanding about alpacas versus llamas. Llamas are actually fairly decent flock guardians, but again, a llama is a much bigger version of an alpaca, which you're then gonna have to import feed, like costs, training, like...
Aren't they just looking for a way to die?
Yes, they are constantly trying to invent new ways to die. You think you have problems with goats? Wait till you get yourself some alpacas. Okay, Kelly, we're about to encounter probably the most unlikely solution for you, but I genuinely think it's gonna work the absolute best.
I keep going through everything in my mind trying to like figure out what our next one is. Oh my gosh! Stop! What is that?
This.
Oh!
This is probably your best solution, considering like all the options. Like you can't have a dog that barks, you can't have a potential lawsuit from a kid getting bitten by something or kicked by a donkey. Right. You can't bring up enough food or meds for a llama, but boy howdy, as a former 6-year-old myself, this used to be my greatest life fear. And even now, I mean, like, there's something about an animal like this, like, hissing at me and running at me, but, like, is this not the most precious attack you've ever seen take place.
It is, but it's terrifying.
It is terrifying, and truly, geese can be some of the absolute best livestock guardian options for literally just this reason. This animal has an insane amount of audacity when it comes to wanting to come and legitimately do whatever it takes to protect its flock.
Right.
Whether that's goats, whether it's chickens, ducks, whatever. And there's very little training involved, but there is something that is very important. All right, Kelly, come on in here. Don't worry, it's not gonna hurt you. This is the goose is absolutely gonna attack you.
Oh my gosh, Hannah,
It's in a really precious way. Like,
Okay.
watch. It's like, this is a precious attack. But here's the wild thing.
That actually, I'm actually sweating a little bit. I'm good. I'm okay. So, in all transparency, I was just on McMurray Hatchery making my yearly order. So chicks, turkeys, meat birds, and it came up geese. And I was like, I'd have to get like 5 at a time. I'm not really sure. I just didn't know what their purpose would truly be for me.
The biggest mistake people make with geese is actually getting multiples, because the one thing that makes geese work is that one goose is bonded to a whole bunch of animals that are not geese. Because if you raise 5 geese together, that little gaggle of geese, by the way, that is the correct term, that little gaggle of geese will be bonded to each other, and they'll follow each other around and protect each other, but they won't be protecting your chickens, your goats, those kinds of things. And so with your setup that you've got, you have little flocks of chickens kind of all over the place. You've got a flock of chickens that's right by your goat barn. You've got a little flock of chickens that's in with your pig, kind of all over the place. So we have kind of 2 options to train our little goose, which will take about 6 weeks, which is a heck of a lot better than a 2-year puppy training process or anything else. We will put either a goose hatchling under a broody hen. First of all, that's a hilarious situation anyway, because the goose grows really, really quickly, and so that mama hen trying to sit on top of the giant baby goose gets funnier and funnier and funnier. Or you can order a couple geese with all of your chicks. The one thing is that then you have to put a couple different brooders. You have 1 goose per brooder, but there's actually another one element of that is really important, because a goose is so big, it can accidentally kind of step on and trample your baby chicks. So you actually need to put a little divider in to protect your baby chicks from the geese, and you need to have 1 goose per brooder, and then you separate the chickens with their 1 goose, spread them around the farm, and now you all of a sudden have a multi-pronged approach with multiple geese, multiple places. In case one of your geese babies die, you aren't gooseless. However, actually having been to your place in Alaska, I think there's actually one more thing that you currently aren't doing that will help not just your livestock protection in general, but it will also make your life a whole lot easier. So let's take a little gander.
I'm ready.
This is the thing that's changed this little 3-acre spot for me in a huge way.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, let's try to get out of here alive.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so this is hilarious. Johnny is literally so scared of the goose. This 136-pound livestock guardian dog is so scared of the goose, he won't even walk up against this fence, because that goose will come and stick his head right out at the dog, and he's having none of it. Johnny, come here, buddy.
He's like, no. Okay, look at the piggies. Oh my good Lord.
Okay, Kelly, it may seem like we're getting off topic here, but I promise there's a point.
Okay.
You do lots of stuff with pigs, right?
Absolutely.
So right now I'm using these pigs to fix my pond, which means that I had to create some sort of temporary structure around them to keep them in while we work on this project.
Yeah.
You have lots of little pastures and stuff that you're trying to use your pigs to fix,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And the sun does not shine very often in Kodiak, right?
Correct, absolutely.
So the other big line of defense that I did for ground predators especially, which you guys have lots of mink, right?
Yeah, they're invading, yeah.
Mink are so dangerous for chickens because they'll burrow down under, they'll come in, they're literally just like vampires that will suck the chicken dry, destroy for the sake of destroying. And so my solution for the pigs is actually also a solution for the mink, which is that I've run a perimeter line of electrical wire around the bottom of the entire fenced in area here. And there's we've got gates.
How many acres?
This is 2 acres, but I think if I remember correctly, it's like 5,000 feet of wire, which is actually like much cheaper than you might think, because all we're doing is we're taking these little plastic insulators and literally just like electrical wire, and we're running it along the, good night in heaven. And we're literally just nailing one of those to the post down at the bottom here. And then all over the place, like when we want to put electric netting up.
Yeah.
Instead of having to carry around a big solar charger, or in your case, you can't even charge a solar charger, so you need to have something that's close to a building,
right,
so you can have an electrical outlet to plug into. So what you could do is you could run a line along your fence line that goes straight to the barn. You can put an electrical charger that you can plug into your barn, and then just run this wire along the edge. But then the coolest thing about this, I learned this from my friend Billy at Permapasture's farm. Now, instead of having to make a perfect square or circle with any of my electrical netting, I can literally just like go around the edge and then take a little alligator clip and clip it onto the already hot electrical wire that runs around the bottom. Now I have a hot pig fence that's daisy chaining off of my hot outside wire. And I actually put this up literally for deer for the garden, the top line, but as it turns out, I never have to turn it on because like this all has been so efficient otherwise that I haven't needed to use it. But you could do a top and a bottom if you wanted. But then there's also lots of places where you've got people walking in and out and like things that like some considerations there. So let's go look at the gates.
Okay, absolutely.
All right, so anywhere we've got a gate, we literally have one of these little isolation clips. So even if this is hot, I can hold it like without getting shocked. And then I literally can just hook this to the gate, open the gate, let a car or a person through, and then put it back down here. Like probably the funniest side effect of this little system, as well as it works, is I become obsessed with saying like, don't trip on the tripwire, because like everyone opens the gate and they just like go.
True.
But therein lies another thing. Like I truly think that on a farm, people can be some of the biggest problems. So having like a little deterrent, like a sign on the fence that says fence is electrified, caution, or something like that might help you in a very public facing farm setting where people are coming and going constantly to not come into the areas where you really don't want them to.
Your little hooks,
Oh, these guys?
they're a deterrent all in themselves. It took me 10. Like after I figured them out, super easy, but like Fort Knox.
These are literally, I say this, these are the first way we were able to tell if people are farm people or city people, because city people cannot figure these things out and farm people can.
Yeah.
But truly, the other really cool thing about this is like, you do have kids around, so you like safety is definitely an issue. This is not going to give a kid an electric shock that's going to like, you know, damage them of any kind. It's literally just like a honeybee sting.
The other thing I noticed that you did, you flipped them off.
Yes, and you can flip it on and off all the, like from several different places.
From just a flip of a switch, you can take your whole system, turn it off. So if I have kids that are walking through, or if I'm doing a farm tour or something, you flip it off, let them all come through, you leave, you flip it back on.
Yes. Let's go back to the goose pen one more time. Long before I had livestock guardian dogs, donkeys, alpacas, electric wire fencing, or anything else, I was using geese to protect my livestock. In an urban setting or an area where you have kids and dogs or other animals aren't as viable an option, geese are something you can super easily integrate into your homestead. And I have a whole article on my Squarespace website, animaltrades.com, that talks about why I use geese and also how to train geese to work for you in your unique situation. Squarespace has been a fantastic resource for me, someone who is not super tech savvy, to be able to easily drag and drop anything I want to share with the world into a beautiful artist design template that then shares it with the world since 12 years ago when all this started for me. Back then, I was a total city slicker. I'd never even had a dog or a cat, but Squarespace was the perfect tool for me to document every step of the journey from there to here. In that 12 years, not only did my location very much change from city to rural living, my career's also changed, and Squarespace is a huge part of that. Squarespace made it easy for me to have an online business, a store where people can buy my online courses, can check out my in-person course schedule, where people can get t-shirts and other merchandise that I sell. If you're interested in starting a website of your own, check out Squarespace, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/animaltrades for a 10% discount. I just want to give a huge shout out and thank you to Squarespace for being such a loyal and faithful sponsor of this channel. It absolutely would not exist without Squarespace's support. All right, Kelly, well, having been to your place up in Kodiak, I was so stoked to have you here in Nashville. Can't wait to be back there in August. Hopefully I'll see some geese when I do.
A couple of geese, just not together, but a couple of geese.
Now, where can people find you online?
Yeah, Kodiak Goat Dairy on Instagram.
Adam will put the little things so you can like do the stuff, but Kelly is one of the few people in life that have made me feel truly, truly lazy.
Oh.
So you want to see some really wild goings on in rural Alaska, doing very similar stuff to what we're doing here. Check her out on Instagram at Kodiak Goat Dairy. Kelly, you're the best.
Thank you. It's been super fun.
Yeah.
So fun.
Cheers.